Hey guys, what's going on? So good to see you. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I really, truly appreciate it. So thank you. I hope you're doing well. Today's video, how to take a normal or boring piece of footage, whether it's any type of footage or even drone footage like this, and turn it into something that's not only going to engage your viewers a lot more, but it's just going to look and sound amazing like this. What a difference sound design makes, guys. And a lot of people just, whatever, they'll just bang any old piece of music they find, they'll forget about sound effects. Today, all of that is going to change. I'm using Premiere Rush, which you can download for free, and it's real easy to use. So let's get into it. Once you get your files into Adobe Premiere Rush, some of them might have sound, so it doesn't matter what type of video it is. In my case here, these are from the DJI FPV drone. So I've got the sound recording on in the drone, and as you can hear, it's just a drone whining and crying and just being an animal. So first thing what we got to do here is kill all the sound that's in these videos. Now that's very easy in Premiere Rush. All you got to do is tap on the clip, and this works on your phone as well, by the way. Tap on the clip, tap the audio symbol, mute the clip. That's one way of doing it. Let's jump on to the next clip. You can keep it pressed down, and then you can separate the audio if you want, and then you can just delete the audio. That's the second way of doing it. But for me, I think the best way really is just muting the clip. So now we've got another clip here, and that was a silent clip, so there's nothing in that. So as we can see, this footage looks pretty okay for a beginner FPV pilot, but you're like, what can I do to make this better? So this is where the sound design comes in. I'm going to jump into Epidemic Sound in a minute here, who've got a gigantic library of royalty-free sound effects. But what I want you to do with your clip is maybe write stuff down, or certainly look at the clip and have a think about it. So I'm going to play this clip back and we're going to look at it together. So I'm going on the river. All right, so there's a river. Obviously, we need kind of a running water sound effect going on. Now, it's natural, naturistic, environment. So we're probably going to have birds or nature sounds, maybe a light breeze there as well. So you need to take note of all of these, and this is because we're building up the sounds that we actually need. I'm going to go up here and we've got this beautiful little church in East Ferry. Visually, it rings, it dongs, it dings. So we need a church bell of some form to ding and to dong. So that's what we're kind of looking at. So that's what we want for this one. And then you apply the same kind of idea to every clip that you're looking at. So it's not just a case of grabbing one sound effect and hoping for the best. We're actually going to build an audible story here very, very easily. Let's start getting those sound effects. I'm in Epidemic Sound. I'm going to jump to the sound effects tab, and Epidemic have recently updated all of their sound effect library, and it's a huge library of stuff, and it's a lot better categorized now. So we have weather, we have waves, we have water. So I'm going to tap water here. Alternatively, of course, you can search for these kinds of things. So I'm going to listen river forest. So that's kind of what we had. Remember river? So this is kind of killing two birds with one stone. We've got the water, we've got the birds. It's not necessarily oceanic type of water, it's just kind of a close running water. But I'm going to download this, and if you're on iPhone or iPad, you can just download it to your files. I'm going to take another listen to something else here. Ocean waves. That's a bit too much. There's a river loop, which doesn't sound too bad. It's a little bit noisy compared to the actual water that we've got. I'm happy with one of those, but I'm just going to jump into search here. I'm going to type in sea and see what happens with sea. So we've got sea creatures, and then on the filters here, we can actually nail these down. So let's go with this one here. Sea creature, none of those are any good. Seashells, none of those. Sea cliff. No, there we go. See? See, it's all about the sea. Sea. So now because we've got this, it's definitely worth thinking about. This really fits one part of the soundscape that we're building out. So I'm going to download this. Now, next one up is a church bell of some form. So I'm going to start with bell, or you could start with church bell, but I'm just going to search for bell here. No, that's definitely not the bell that we want. Let's go with bells, see what they've got. So that you can see there's a ton of sound effects here. Yeah, that's not it. Might be fun though. Bells chime. Okay, that's kind of holiday music, which I really apologize for. Church bells. The thing is, there's so many sound effects here and they're really well categorized. You really got to drill down and not just settle for something that's going to make the video sound out of place. So back in Premiere Rush here, and the one limitation with Premiere Rush, but in most cases it's probably going to be enough, is that you've got 3 audio tracks to work with. That's it. You can only have 3 audio tracks. Adobe, a little bit more audio tracks would be great, but 3 is enough. So let's import our files. I'm going to tap the plus. Let's go with media. I'm going to go to files, import from files. Now it's kind of dumped them all in here, which is a little bit frustrating, but to get a better idea of where everything is, I'm just going to tap our layers here so we can see everything. So first off, we've got 3 tracks. So one track here is probably going to be the bass layer. And what I mean by that is the sound is going to run throughout. So the bells aren't going to be tolling for the church for all of it, neither is the whoosh, but the birds and the river sounds are. That's what we got to concentrate on first. So playing this back, that sounds pretty good. So what we want to do is I'm just going to cut this here because we're only working off of one clip in this example. Hit the cut, hit delete. Now I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to bring in or take a listen to our sea cliff atmosphere, which is absolutely perfect. I'm going to drag this down underneath. Going to delete this clip because we don't need that. And then I'm going to drag this over here and this over here. And these are bells. So now let's take a quick listen to see what we've built up here on this one clip alone, just with these 2 sound effects, and you can see what a huge difference it makes. Awesome. So the thing here, and this is a big trick, you've got to adjust the volume. Not everything will sound at the same volume. So the birds here are probably a little bit too high for the actual atmosphere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap on my sea cliff atmosphere. I'm going to click the audio button here. I'm going to bring up the volume of this a little bit. We can also start doing into auto ducking and stuff like that, but I'm just going to do it manually here. So we've got that breeze, we've got the birds. Now in my ears here, the birds are a little bit too high, so I'm going to bring them down a little bit. So now everything is very, very subtle. The one limitation of the 3 tracks here is we kind of would need 4 to get the bells tolling as we're going by the church, but there's still a way we can kind of simulate what we want to do. Obviously the bells here are very, very loud, which completely just blows everybody's ears and it doesn't sound right. So what I'm going to do is the closer we get to the church that we want to get the bells that little bit louder. So how do we do that? Because there's no keyframes for audio within Premiere Rush. Well, we can see here on the bells, we've got 3 bells. So I'm going to cut them all individually, and then we're going to change the volume of each one. So the first one is down to like maybe 10, 12 that way. The most important thing here is to start listening back because this one is still a little bit too high for me. So let's go again. It's off in the distance, getting a little bit closer. And then as we're flying by, rocking. As you can see here, in just literally a couple of minutes, we have got something that's taken our boring old footage to a whole new level. And that's pretty epic. This video is sponsored by my friends at Epidemic Zone, and as you can hear, they have a vast, gigantic library of sound effects for you to download, check out, and of course they've got some of the best music, royalty-free, no copyright strikes, that you can find anywhere on the internet. I've left a link in the description for you guys, so if you click that, not only do you get yourself a free trial and loads of free music and sound effects to use and try out, but you also help me out as well. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, don't stop fighting for yourself, but check this video out here.